everything out. Oh my god. Okay. So I kind of want to start with some statistics for you,
Okay,
if you're ready for it.
I'm ready.
Okay. I'm just gonna say a few words, and maybe you can guess my depression. We'll go with that. Okay, I'm gonna go the number 6. Okay.
Okay,
The number 34
okay.
and the number 10. You got any guesses?
I know. I'm number 10, but that's
Would you like me to tell you?
I would love for you to tell me.
Okay, number 6 stands for 6 interceptions.
Oh,
Whew. I forgot the second number I said. What'd I say? 34?
34.
Okay, score of 34 to nothing.
Oh,
And the number 10, 10 minutes into the game.
oh.
So,
That just makes me sound selfish.
so, um, I'm, I mean, I'm torn a little bit. You know, we got halfway through our game, what was voted on as the game of the week by our
Yeah.
peers. I got asked about halfway through the game when we finally put together a drive by none other than Mr. Charlie, saying what I was going to say on the podcast. And, you know, I don't know. I've been debating ever since. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I would just like we'll go into all the week 3 scores and I'll get all of my stats, but I just want to know your thoughts on
Um.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
final score 72-12. Well, I'll let you go.
Yeah. No. That. I don't think the score of that game indicates what you guys are as a team on the Texans. I'm not sure what happened, why it happened. Um. It does help us out a lot that we actually had everybody show up for a week. Um.
It does help. It does
It
help.
does. So. Um. I mean, yeah. The weather didn't help in the second half, but it wasn't there to start. So I don't.
It wasn't there to start, and I can't even use that as an excuse, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm. I think we have a lot of talent on our team, and I know that we as a team have talked a lot about what we do on defense. So
yeah.
we've tried to take that pretty seriously. Um, but yeah, no, I don't know where the 12 points comes from, to be honest with you.
I will say your defense, whatever your plan was or whatever your focus one, it worked. Because I know how frustrated I was. Because I think we got ball first.
Yes.
We got ball first, drove down, I would say, and then threw a pick, kind of like not in the end zone, but pretty close. So I was like, all right, it happens. You guys ended up scoring. I was like, all right, that's fine. Just tie it up, get another drive going. Immediately throw another interception, and then another, and then another. It was just shared love. It was multiple quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'm not blaming it all on that. Our defensive execution. We've decided to go a different direction and fire our defensive coordinator. Because I mean, 72 points is now tied for, not tied. I believe is the third highest points scored in the league so far. Followed by only beaten by 74 and 82.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the another thing about in this flag football league, and it's been like this since it started. Once it starts going downhill, it's
It
hard to
it's hard to come
keep
back.
going in a game.
Yes.
Especially, I mean, we were up, and I can say most of us once that rain hit, it was just like everybody was done. We played that second half. Everybody was playing just to play. I mean,
Exactly. I agree. I mean, when the rain hit, I mean, I talked to Charlie because I wasn't able to stay for the second and third game. but he was like it rained. It was all right for your guys' first half. Rained to the complete second half, and then the first half of the next game it rained a little bit. Second half was fine, and then the third game was completely clear. So I mean, it definitely made things a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
But I mean, the +4 turnover margin, because I know we had 2 interceptions. But I know offensively we just couldn't do anything on you.
Yeah, and it like I said, once it gets bad, it's hard. I mean, it's not like tackle football where you get angry and you just go hit somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but to kind of add on to that, I mean, it was. I think I was talking to Caleb, and I think 5 of your first 6 drives was an interception.
Was a turnover. And I
And
mean,
I think more than one of them was returned for a touchdown too.
I believe so. So
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I talked to Xavier about it. He goes, "Dude, it was 34-0 when I finally stepped onto the field." And it's just like you can't like in this league with how many points are scored. We talk about every week that if you can hold a team to 3 or 4 times where they don't score, you have a chance.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's just so, and I feel like I can't say this because we scored 12 points, but I feel like it's just so easy to score, or you get so many chances to score. I mean, when you have teams scoring regularly in the 60s, 70s, 80s, it's difficult. And I mean, week 1, the lowest score was 36. And that's
and that was also, I believe that was from our team.
That was
I could be wrong,
actually
but
the Chiefs.
I can't remember if we had 36 or 38, but
You actually had 48 the first week.
48. Oh
Yeah.
man.
At least according to my stats.
I think you're right. I think
week 2 you had 36. Week 2 you had 36. Now I did talk to one of your teammates after I knew the game was over in the second half, and saying that you had a bunch of guys on the IR that came back this week.
Yeah. So I mean, as most people in the league know at this point, we had somebody quit on us mid game during week 2, and week 2 was a mess for us. I don't know if you have that score in front of you.
60 to 36. Yep.
Yeah.
60 to 36.
So that score doesn't do what the Chargers did to us any justice because it wasn't even that close. But yeah, so we have another player who broke his arm, and one more that was having some personal issues can't be here right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So we picked up another kid, Malachi Clay, and he was big for us this weekend. So I'm excited to have him. He had a couple picks for us, a couple 2-point conversions.
Yep.
So he was big for us, and then you call it Riley's team, so we'll talk about Riley for a second. I mean, in my opinion, I think Riley is right up there with the best quarterback you can have in this flag football. He can move, he can throw the ball.
I did hear from multiple people that he's if we did the award, MVP candidate.
Yep.
Which, after playing him and have played him before, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, your whole team is just really good, and you guys have a lot of speed, and I feel like a lot of experience. Maybe not in this league, but in football in general and flag in general. So that's definitely helped you. But you guys are just able to make plays when it's needed.
Yeah.
Obviously, with the 5 interceptions on the first 6 drives.
Yeah. And the key for us, and I did say something about it for everybody in general, but we gotta keep our confidence high. When we're playing confident, I think we arguably have the best team in the league. But we, including myself as a group, we can get pretty down when things aren't going our way. So I think that's our big thing that we need to be working on.
Yeah. And I mean, looking at your guys' upcoming schedule. This week you have the Oilers, who you're favored by 23 points. And then you follow up with the Chiefs and Patriots. I will say, um, combined wins of all three teams is 2. So I'm not going to say it's going to be easier because you have played the Patriots before. They are a good team. And I know the Chiefs, although they did get their third loss this week, played the Patriots really well.
Yeah. So I stayed and refed the last 2 games, so
Mhm.
I know you weren't able to stay for those, but the Oilers got a couple players that they haven't had yet,
Mhm.
and look much improved
Yeah.
against arguably the most talented overall team that we have in the
Oh yeah,
conference.
I agree. I mean,
So I will say that game, the score, I think they lost by 19 or 21,
yeah,
and it felt a lot closer than that.
gotcha. Well, I mean, taking you through the rest of the scores. So, I mean, in week 3, obviously we had our quote unquote game of the week with the Ravens hosting the Texans of a score of 72-12. So Ravens improving to 2-1, and the Texans technically dropping to 2-1. Followed up by the Patriots and Chiefs. Patriots winning 60-43. So Patriots advancing also to 2-1, and the Chiefs dropping to 0-3. Then you had that last slate, the 4:30 game. Chargers hosting the Oilers with a win of 67-48. So Chargers improving to 3-0, and might I add, the now only undefeated team in the league. While the Oilers also dropped to 0-3, joining the Chiefs as the 2 winless teams in the league. But as you said, I mean, both teams put up respectable amount of points. I mean, especially the Chargers and Oilers game, like you said, it was only about a 19-point difference. Where in this league, that's not a lot. I
Yeah,
mean, a lead can shift pretty quickly
yeah.
depending on what's happening. So I
And the
mean,
Chiefs, as far as talent, the Chiefs are no slouches either. I mean,
no, they're
they
not.
have a lot of guys. I don't know if they're just not all on the same page yet or something, but like you said in your podcast last week, I could see them getting it together and
Well,
being a tough team to beat.
that's my thing is like last 2 seasons ago when we were together, we started 0-3, and then I remember we
Yes.
finished 3-3, and then we played Caleb's team. I don't remember who they were. We played Caleb's team in the first round and won, and then
Yep.
we were pretty close to winning the second round. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, like obviously the season matters, but you got to get hot at the right time. And I mean, like you said, they have a lot of talent. I think they got
Yes.
a lot of speed and they're just going to be a good team and still a problem. So I mean,
Yeah. They could win. They could win no games during the season. And I don't think I would want to play them
I'd
come
exactly,
playoff time.
exactly. Well, I mean, looking at our standings for week 3, Chargers still claiming that top spot at number 1 with that 3-0 record. Patriots moving up 1 spot to number 2 with that 2-1 record and 180 points for. Then you got you guys, the Ravens, moving to that 3rd spot with also a 2-1 record with 156 points scored. And then you have us, the Texans, still at a 2-1 record, but with 126 points scored. And I will add, we are the only team with a winning record and a negative point differential. So we have
Yeah,
126 points for and 156 against. So
that 60 points will do it.
60-point differential will do it. So I mean, top offense, Chargers stay in the same spot. Patriots stay in the same spot, but you guys move up 2 spots to 3rd place at the top with the 3rd top offense. Oilers chilling at number 4. Texans move down to 5th. You got and then Chiefs following up in the last place spot, but again, don't sleep on them. So defensively, Ravens pulling up in that top spot for you guys. Um, then you got Patriots staying the same. Chargers dropping 2 spots to 3rd. The Chiefs moving up 1 spot to 4th. Texans moving down to 2. Moving down 2 spots to 5th. And then the Oilers bringing it up. So, I mean, a lot of shifting. I did say last week that week 3 I felt like things would calm down a bit, but I was evidently kind of wrong.
Yeah,
Um,
it was pretty chaotic. I mean, I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the other two games went chalk. But I don't think anybody coming into the week would have expected there would be as much of a blowout as the first game was,
No,
including myself. I didn't.
no, I mean, I know I do mathematically saying like what the prediction of score is just based off of like how many points you've scored, how many points you've given up. But at the same
Right.
token, like I didn't think even it said we were only favored by 11, and in my aspect, I was like, I don't think like looking at your roster, and even when I like got to the field, I was like, I don't know if we're gonna win this one, and I think it'll be close. But I think it'll be come
Right.
down to like the last possession, and obviously that didn't happen. But
Yeah.
um, but I mean, I don't know. It's yeah, I definitely didn't think it would be that much, but I also, like you said, the Oilers and the Chiefs kind of putting it together. I don't want to say I didn't expect those games to not be close, but like you said, the score doesn't even reflect, and it was a closer
Yeah.
game than it.
Both of those games felt, and neither of them were really blowouts, but both of them felt even closer than they really were.
Right, right. I mean, when we talk about overall teams, I know I kind of mentioned last week how the Chargers are kind of a well-rounded team. I don't think they have one person that is scoring all the touchdowns or anything like that. And even kind of looking back at you guys playing you this past week, I kind of think you're the same way. I think you spread the ball around a lot. You do multiple quarterbacks, and even your defense, everybody can cover. So I think you guys are a really well-rounded team as well. Um, that just like drastically improved. So I'm excited to see what you guys do in the next couple weeks. But I do think there isn't really a game that's going to be a given for any team in these next
No,
few weeks.
I don't either. I'll definitely be telling my team this week that we can't just sleep on those Oilers because they're 0-3 because
Right.
Brady can throw a ball like it's nobody's business,
He can.
and they've got Mark Stickford, best center in the league,
Exactly.
along with a couple guys that are pretty fast with some pretty good hands.
I mean, the Oilers, I'm pretty sure, had their full team for the first time
Yeah,
this past week. So I mean, competed with them. Um, but I did have to ask Josh Nelson a question earlier this morning. This is the first time I'm mentioning his name, so don't yell at me too
no,
much.
I'm impressed.
Maybe it's the second time. No, I said Chargers. I didn't say Josh Nelson. I got to give a shout out to his quarterback a little bit. Again, I wasn't there for the game, so you were there. But I heard on multiple accounts, dude was dropping dimes everywhere.
He was. He was. He had a couple needles threaded.
Oh my
So
god! Because Seth Parsley, I'm pretty sure is his quarterback.
I think that's correct.
I think that's correct. All right. He's like I think this is his first year in the league as well.
Yeah.
Okay. I so I'll be like I was nervous to face the Chargers. I'm nervous every week when we play games because I just never know how they're gonna never know how they're gonna
Yeah, I'm
end
with you.
up. But I don't know. There's some things about a quarterback that, especially in this league, like how much room we have. If you can just place it perfectly on the money every single time,
Yeah.
you're gonna win a lot of games. Um, and I mean, it's long, like I said before, as long as you have a defense that can stop them 3, 4 times, you got a chance. Um, I will say I am disappointed in my team for one thing. Not even the score, not even anything else. We had the opportunity to go for 3, and we didn't take it.
Yeah. I said Friday night when I saw you guys over at Caleb's, I said it that if I got the chance to go for 3, whether we were winning big or losing big or needed it, we were going to. With it being a new thing, I don't even think about it.
No, I
And
don't.
then
And
I
I
look
mean,
back at the game and I'm like, man.
should have gone for 3. Because, I mean, it was the second time we had scored, and I forget who said it on the sidelines, and they're like, just go for 3. I'm like, go for 3? I'm like, completely forgot we could go for 3. But I don't know if I want to run that play from the 50-yard
Yeah.
line.
To me, it almost feels wrong unless it's necessary. Like
Right.
if you're winning big, going for three just kind of feels like rubbing it in somebody's face, adding insult to injury.
Right.
And if you're getting smoked, it's like, man, let's just get some points.
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't worry about going for three. Just get the easier one or two, and then we'll go from there. Oh my god! But I mean, looking ahead, like I said, first slate of the game. So technically, game of the week is our 4:30 slot, voted on by our peers, which is the Patriots hosting the Texans. Hopefully, I don't have the same showing. Um, but I also would like Kev not to show up. I think that would make my life a lot easier.
Yeah,
Uh,
he missed our first game, and tell you what, I'm glad.
I've actually yet to play him before. Like I've never played him. I think I've always had military or something going on.
I I
Kev, I
hate
probably
guarding Kevin because you can
I,
feel like you're playing perfect defense, and
you're just
bam,
not.
the ball's in his hands, 5 feet over your head.
But we got the first slate of games at 2:30. Chargers hosting the Chiefs. The Chargers are a 16-point favorite to win the game. Oilers hosting the Ravens at 3:30. Ravens are a 23-point favorite coming into Houston, as well as at 4:30 slate, the Patriots hosting the Texans, and the Patriots are a 12-point favorite. So I mean, I don't want to say accurate from what I think because, as I said, I don't
Yeah,
have a lot of faith in numbers. I will say the favored team this year has won. I think the record is 4-2. So it's been two. It's been 2-1 every week. Obviously, minus the first week we didn't have predictions, but
right.
so I mean, not a lot of data, but you got something. Um, but I mean, I don't. Obviously, I'd say home and away. We play at the same field, but it just feels
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
um, do you
I'll
think
never
that?
even know who's home when I show up.
Do you think it has an effect doing the coin toss? Who gets the ball first? You like setting
Um,
the tone.
Man, I think it does. I think it depends on the team too, though.
Yeah,
I mean, I think there's some teams that probably should be playing offense first, trying to get it together.
yeah,
But like I said, I know kind of the generic thing is you play defense first, get the ball at half.
mm-hmm.
But I think for us that playing defense first is more like a tone setter, like you said. If
Right.
we can get a stop on that first drive and come down and score, it kind of just sets you up for the whole game, feeling good.
I agree. I, I definitely agree, especially in our league because scoring is so easy. If you can get that first defensive stop out of the way, and you're like, all right, I only need a few more if I just keep
Yeah.
scoring. I think that is a good thing, especially if you can stop them before the 50 or get a turnover. I definitely think that is a key to the game. I don't think it plays as big of a part. Um, Obviously, there's no home field advantage when we come in here, but maybe there will be. Never
Right.
know. But just going through everybody's schedules, kind of for the rest of the week, and kind of reiterating what their offense and defense is, going alphabetically. So the Chargers obviously getting the win over the Oilers, hosting the Chiefs. Like I said this week, combined wins for the rest of the team. So they got the Chiefs this week, the Patriots, and then the Texans. So not an easy schedule, but I don't think anybody does have an easy schedule for the remainder. Then moving on to the Chiefs again, dropping it to the Patriots. They got the Chargers this upcoming week, followed by you guys, the Ravens, and then the Oilers to finish. So even if the Chiefs and Oilers go over that last game, we'll decide who is, I guess,
Yeah.
the worst technically. uh, um, Coming up with the Oilers, obviously dropping their game to the Chargers. Got you guys this week, the Ravens. They are 23-point underdogs. However, technically, I guess with the new 3-point rule, no, new with the new 3-point, it's technically a 2-possession game. I lied. I didn't do math right. It's still 3. Wow. But they got the Texans and Chiefs to finish their season. Moving on to the Patriots with that 2-1 record. They are playing the Texans in the game of the week this week, followed in by the Chargers and the Ravens. So I think that is the roughest schedule so far. Um, Definitely not an easy one, especially because you guys have already played once before. So you kind of know each other, but
Yeah.
could still do some things
So,
differently. Um,
yep, I will say in week one, we've said his name a couple times. They were missing Kevin.
they
He
were.
decided that the Patriots were more important than his Patriots. Um, so I'm excited about that one. I think he gives them a lot of life, just like he does whatever team he's on.
I agree.
When in doubt, throw it up to Kevin, who, like you said last week, is 6'12", 7 foot something. You know,
I
so
believe my yeah.
I don't want to say I'm looking ahead to it, but I do look forward to playing Kevin.
Yeah, I do for the first time. I'm excited this week actually. I've been stretching to try and make myself taller because I think with cleats on, I'm 5'9" on a good day. The roster says
I'm right
5'8".
there
I
with you,
did that.
brother.
I did that on purpose so teams would be a little bit more, um, I guess, not as scared of me. But whatever. uh, Moving on to you guys, got the Oilers this week after beating us. You're favored by 23 points, and then you finish up with the Chiefs and Patriots. And then the Texans obviously dropping to you guys this week, coming up as 12-point underdogs to the Patriots this week, followed in by the Oilers and Chargers. So we did play the Oilers once before in our first game, but I know they were missing a bunch of people. So I'm not counting them out in any aspect, especially because I feel like we've seen our ceiling and floor so far.
Yeah.
I mean, literally the first week we scored 74 points, and then obviously going from 74 all the way down to 12 hurts your confidence a little bit. But I mean, it as we keep reiterating. I mean, it's a anybody can win kind of league. Even when we come into that last week, so I know we do the standings and everything like that, and we say we have our favorites, which I might change mine this week for the championship. But I mean, it all comes down to playoffs and just who can show up that day.
Yeah,
Um,
it does.
but I mean, I would like to hear your unbiased opinion for a championship favorite.
My unbiased. Um,
Unbiased.
so this may sound biased,
No,
but a genuine belief.
I figured.
I think my championship matchup, if I had to guess, would be us, the Ravens, and the Chargers.
Okay. I was
So
actually about to say the same thing. So obviously, I have not played the Chargers, and obviously, I love my team, but we have some bumps we need to get over, as well as, like I said, the Chiefs are still adapting, and I would not count them out. Cavs, the Patriots are always a good team and always have a shot, but like I said, even the Oilers having their full team there could just go on a roll as well. But after seeing you guys and knowing what the Chargers can put up every single week, that would be my championship outlook at this moment. And I think it'd be a great game. I'd dare to say I think you guys would win it, just based off speed. And I'm not just saying that because I mentioned Josh about 200 times last week in my podcast, um, but no, after seeing your team, I don't want to play you again, if I'm being blunt. And I hope I don't have to. So I hope another team beats you in the playoffs, and then I don't got to worry about you anymore.
well, I'll take that as a compliment. I appreciate it.
Um,
Yeah. So along with those two teams, though, just to kind of round that out, I do think it's hard to say. I think the Chiefs very well, like you said, could get it together at the right time.
mm-hmm.
And with JMO and Kevin, and they got the more size with Charlie being on the same team.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean the Patriots very well could beat anybody and beat anybody bad.
Right. Yeah,
So
I agree.
it's hard to say, but yep, if I had everybody on their best day, I would say us and the Chargers.
Yeah.
I'll bring my homer into it and say we would come through with it.
I'm all right with that. I'm all right with a little bit of bias. So I mean, like I said, looking a little further ahead, to week 5. You got the Ravens coming up against the Chiefs in that 2:30 slot. Chargers against the Patriots, and then the Texans and the Oilers. So in your mind, which one do you think is the game of the week? I'm gonna have people vote. But between those 3 games, which one are you calling?
You said it
Okay.
was Chargers and Patriots, correct?
Chargers, Patriots, Chiefs, Ravens,
That's gonna
Texans, Oilers.
have to be the one I go with.
Chargers, Patriots.
Yeah, I would like to see how that works out.
I
That
agree.
Chargers team has a bunch of guys that are hard to stop, but
Hmm.
again with JMO and Kevin, those are 2 guys that can single-handedly take over a week.
I agree with that. I mean, like you said before, just toss it up to them; they'll catch it,
Yeah,
or they'll at least prevent the defense from catching it. So now, I
yeah,
agree. I not to get. I mean, obviously, I'll put my vote into it, but I would agree with that. Just 2 really good teams, possible championship kind of preview, but going into that. But kind of looking at the league overall, I don't know. Obviously, you being more of a captain know a lot more price statistics than I do about what kind of guys we got in the league. But this did come to like someone asked me this question the other day. No one in the league, but just seeing how many like what kind of guys we play with, and would you say that this year has been kind of there's a lot of new players in the league
yeah,
compared to other
yeah. So
years?
there's definitely a lot of new players, and I think we've got. I know I've talked to a lot of people about this, including you outside of the podcast. I think this is by far the most talented the league has been since it's been created, whether it's spring, fall, or whatever.
I
I
agree.
mean, all there in the past, there's usually a couple of teams that are head and shoulders better, and you can kind of see the talent drop off after that.
Yeah, I agree.
This year, I feel like there's enough talented guys on every team, and even I, I don't want to say it like this because it sounds bad, but even the lower level talented players
I know what you mean.
are
Yeah,
still very
are still
talented.
really
You know,
good. Like I
they're
think,
right. Like when we
yeah,
started, there was guys that you could kind of pick on when they were on the field,
yeah.
and I feel like that's almost weeded itself out to where it's tough no matter who's guarding you or who you're guarding.
Hmm.
It's pretty tough. I mean, you got to be locked in.
Oh yeah. I mean, I mean, yeah. I mean, when my first season in the league, I kind of agree with you. You had some guys that you were like, okay, I can run against this guy and be fine. Or I can guard this guy and not have to like kind of worry about him going deep or something like that.
Right.
But I think even this year or this season, I'm looking at the ones and twos and even threes of this league, and you're just like, dude, I don't want to guard you right now.
Yeah.
Like I remember vividly. I know I keep mentioning our game this past week, but I'm having nightmares about it at night. But I remember one play vividly, lining up at safety, and I just looked across the field, and I was like, dude, I don't want to guard anybody.
Yeah.
I was like, I've gotten burnt by you for a touchdown. I've gotten burnt by you for a touchdown. You've caught a 50-yard pass on me, and I'm just like, there's just so much talent in the league, and it's been like there's been a realization for me every week in that aspect of like, dude, I'm so tired. It's like I can't run with them like I used to anymore.
Yeah.
And I do think the talent level has just significantly increased.
Yeah.
Do you know player wise if we've had more players than in the past, or has it been about the same?
So I know that as the total players that are in the league right now, we're sitting at 60.
Hmm.
So every team gets 10 players capped out of that.
Okay.
But I know there has been players that were waitlisted and then have been put on a team like we had with
Yeah.
Malachi Clay on my team,
Yep.
who was, like I said, huge for us this week. And then I believe there's still 3 or 4 more players waitlisted. So
Okay.
not only did we fill our rosters, we have extra players that are waiting to get on a team if somebody were to get hurt,
Yeah.
unfortunately, or somebody can't finish the season due to whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Because
I'm hoping that next year those waitlisted players will get signed up a little bit earlier, and we can get to an 8 team.
18. I think that would be perfect. Obviously, I love the format we have right now, and you work with what we got.
Yep.
But I think 18 would be perfect. I know it would kind of not give a bye to the first two top teams, but
Right.
in a sense, like the bye doesn't really do anything for us.
Yeah.
I mean, we
You know,
aren't the
I almost want to be the 3 seed just because I don't want to
exactly.
have to go sit at home for a week.
Exactly. But I do like the benefit of being able to pick who you play against, and I I think we would get some really good matchups. But I mean, it's cool to see a bunch of players joining and the league keep growing. So I would love to see it. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'll be here for spring season due to military reasons, but I will try my best to negotiate with Uncle Sam and see what happens on that.
Uncle Sam usually wins, don't he?
Sadly, he caught me a lot last year. I tried to talk JD into getting my NIL money last year, and he wasn't
Oh
about
yeah.
it. No, but I'm excited. What kind of to finish it out? What are you most excited for? Kind of looking into the second half of the season because we are halfway through now. So kind of, what's your biggest takeaway, or what are you looking forward to at the end here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited to just kind of see how it rounds out. Like it's been mentioned a lot, the Chiefs. It seems like they're just right there as far as getting
Mm-hmm.
it together. And if they get it together, I mean, they've got very talented players. They've got very fast players.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a couple quarterbacks. One of them being Dawson, who
Yeah.
will take off on you when you least expect it. And
You know how many
I mean,
times he's juked me
he's
out?
got to
Yeah.
run a 4.240. It's crazy.
I know, right?
Um, but yeah, so I mean, they're deeply talented. You guys are just as talented as anybody with the Texans. The Oilers, like I said, now that they got their full team, they
Hmm.
could sneak up on some people, especially if they're slept on.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the Patriots, they've got that top. They probably have the top end talent that nobody else has.
Hmm.
And then you got us and the Chargers, who just all around have that pretty good talent, one
Yeah.
through 10.
Yeah. And
So it's
yeah,
it's just kind of excited to see which tactic of the draft prevails through it.
exactly. Did you have a tactic going in? I'll let you go after this, but did you have a tactic going into your draft? I didn't know it was a snake
Yeah.
draft, but
The,
that makes more sense.
so
Uh,
yeah, it is a snake draft, and maybe I'm leaking a little information here, but
oh, my
I would,
bad.
no, I don't. I think it's fine. Yeah, no, I actually I in the lottery I got the second pick. Nelson had his pick
Hmm. Yeah.
suspended, negated because he had some top end guys that were coming in with him,
Yeah.
and it was tough this year. I having that first pick technically, there was so much talent, I didn't even know what to do. So I was kind of hoping for a later pick so I could start out with some receivers. Originally, I was planning on Ryan or I playing quarterback and trying to
Hmm.
fill out our team with some receivers.
Hmm.
But when I got that first pick and I saw that Riley was sitting there with Dovon,
Oh yeah.
so two really good players, it was kind of like,
Yeah.
man, I'll put my own selfish desire to play quarterback and throw a ball aside, and I'll catch some again this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think my thing was the big thing in this league is you got to be able to catch the ball.
Yeah. You do.
That's like the biggest thing in flag football is if it hits your hands, you got to catch it.
Yeah.
So even like players like Trevor's not super fast, not a freak athlete, but I'll tell you what, if that ball hits Trevor's hands, he's gonna catch it. It's
Exactly.
crazy.
I
So
mean,
yeah,
even playing you sometimes frustrates me. I've told you this before, but I mean, you just catch the most unbelievable balls, even if I have perfect coverage on you, and it's just like, what are you gonna do? No,
yeah,
but I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. Like I said, I won't keep you too long. I'm gonna try and for people listening, I'm gonna try and get someone to talk with me every week because that first week talking to myself was not fun. So if you're interested, hit me up.
Yeah,
But now I appreciate you talking with me, man. Good luck this week
man,
and the
no
rest of the
problem.
season. And like I said, I hope I don't see you again. When I don't, hope I don't see you on that field again.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, and best of luck to you too.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Yep.